Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. These are art projects taught by the elementary art teachers from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. We hope you have fun, create imaginative works of art, and make sure you share them with someone because after all, visual arts are meant to be seen.
Good day, Cape artists, and welcome back to another episode of The Heart of a Viking. Mama Roo, Baby Roo, did you hear that? I think I hear some birds. In today's project, we're learning about the birds that live in Australia. There are some of the most beautifully colored birds that live there. So today, put on your thinking caps, get ready to learn some information about some unique and beautiful birds, and we'll even get to make an origami bird as our project. So gather your art making supplies, put on your thinking caps, and here we go.
The budgerigar is a small, brightly colored bird that inhabits some of the drier regions of Australia. It's a member of the parrot family. Although it's native to Australia, the budgerigar is found in captivity throughout the world, and it's the world's third most popular pet. The cockatiel is the smallest species in the cockatoo family. It is very common in Australia, and it's kept as a pet throughout the entire world. In the wild, cockatiels are mainly gray with yellow faces and orange cheeks. They inhabit the wetlands and bushlands throughout Australia. The galah is a common Australian cockatoo. It's found throughout Australia and lives in the mainland. However, it's also been introduced to Tasmania. The galah has gray wings, tail, and its chest, head, and neck are pink. The top of its head and feathered crest are a lighter pink. The gang cockatoo lives in the woodlands, forests, and mountains in southeast Australia. Its plumage is a slate gray color, and the males have bright red heads and crests. The gang cockatoo's name is an Aboriginal name. It is the bird emblem of the Australian Capital Territory. The weebill is Australia's smallest bird. It's a pale brown bird with a cream chest and a pale yellow underside. The weebill gets its name from its small or wee bill. It lives in the forests and woodlands throughout Australia. And our final bird is the Gouldian finch. It's a colorful songbird from northern Australia. Although it is a common pet, it is becoming scarce in the wild. The Gouldian finch's plumage is a wonderful mixture of yellow, green, blue, and red. Males are generally more colorful than females. Cape artists, I am so excited to show you today's project. Today we are making some origami birds. So these origami birds are going to be beautiful bright colors and reminiscent of the birds from Australia. So to do that, I'm starting with some bright colored papers. If you don't have bright colored papers, you can use a white paper, that'll be fine, and we'll just add some details with some bright markers or art supplies whenever you're all done. So what you're going to need today are some papers that are the type of papers that come out of a printer. So they're not construction paper, but they're printer paper. Or if you have actual origami paper, that would work perfectly as well. You're also going to be needing some scissors. You're going to be needing some crayons today, maybe some colored pencils even if you have them, a regular pencil, maybe some markers, a glue stick, some eyes. Now here you're going to have some choices. I have some googly eyes here, and I also have some hand-drawn cutout eyes. Whatever you have at home is going to be perfectly fine. What's cool about the hand-drawn eyes is that you can make them any shape you want. So I made some fun sort of oval but flat at the bottom eyes here. My googly eyes I have as well. And then whatever color paper you have at home. I'm going to use a white piece of paper to get started with today. All right, so I'm going to turn this sideways, and to begin, I'm going to take this bottom corner and bring it all the way up to this top edge. Just like that. Now I want to check two things before I push this down. I want to make sure that this edge is lined up with that edge. So yep, that looks pretty good. And I want to make sure I still see a nice point at the top. I don't want it to be all sort of flat. So let's line this up. Make sure there's a point at the edge. That looks great. Now, in origami, you want to make sure that you really take effort to flatten these edges. So I'm using my fingernail. If you don't have sharp fingernails, you could use a pencil, lay it down, push right where the fold is, and press up and press down to flatten that edge, whichever you have, either sharp fingernails or a pencil. Now, this little extra rectangle on the side is not needed right now, so I'm going to use my scissors to cut that off, but I do need some of that later. So, cut it off, put it to the side, but we're going to come back to it. Now, I'm going to turn this up and down and put the point at the top so I have this shape. I wonder if you know what shape that is. Yep, it's a triangle, you're right. So now I'm going to take this triangle and turn it into a rhombus. So I'm going to take this corner right here, pull it all the way up. Excellent. Press it with your fingernail or use your pencil, whichever way you prefer. Take this corner all the way up as well. I'm starting to see my rhombus already. And there we go, a little bit of math sneaking into art again. Excellent. Use your fingernail to push that down or a pencil. So I want to make sure those are together, not overlapping each other. Overlapping means on top. Okay, so that looks really good. And I have my rhombus shape. So next thing I want to do is I want to make little wings for my bird. So I'm going to take this side and fold in two little triangles. Perfect. Now I'm going to make a little tail doing the same thing at the bottom. Perfect. Now I'm going to flip the whole thing over, and at the top I'm going to find the first two layers. There's a lot of layers of paper up here, but I want only the first 1, 2, just these two right here. And I'm going to fold them down, and this becomes the beak of the little bird. Hello, new friends. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to use my pencil to plan out a few things. I want my little nose to be right about here. I want this to have a little tongue inside. Perfect. I want the eyes to be about here and here. Later, I will practice laying the little eyes or the googly eyes, whichever one I choose to use, right in those spots. Okay, and then underneath here, I want this to be feathery. So I have lots of choices to make feathery lines. I'm going to use a scooping method right now to make the texture of feathers. Texture, remember, is how something feels. Okay, and I don't want to forget the wings. The wings are back here, remember? I have them folded back right now, but I also want to add some texture to them. And then on the face, I'm going to add a feathery texture, but it's going to look a little bit different. I'm going to make lines that are sort of scooping down. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to add some color to all of this. So I can decide if I'm going to use markers or crayons or colored pencils, whatever I decide, and I'm going to add some color. Okay, so now that my little bird is all colored, I need to make two more parts. I need to add his eyes and his cute little feet that are going to help him stand up. So let's do his eyes first. So to make his eyes, I just need to find what kind of eyes I have. If I have googly eyes, I can just grab them, use my glue stick, put a little glue here and glue them on. Or I can make some eyes. Let me show you my little secret that I teach my students at HOB. So whenever I'm making something where I need two that are the same, I do something called double cutting. So I'm actually going to cut off, this paper is way too large. So I'm going to cut off a small amount. This is perfect right here. And I'm going to fold it in half. Once it's folded in half, I'm going to draw my eye shape that I want. Just like that. And I'm going to cut through both layers of paper. And as I cut, I should be cutting through both sides of this paper, which means that after I cut it out and put my trash aside, I should be able to separate these and have two that are exactly the same, which is perfect when you're making eyes for something. Then all I need to do is use a marker, crayon, or colored pencil to add the pupil, which is the black part of the eye. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my glue stick, pick what kind of eyes I'm going to use, put a little glue where I made those little dots in the very, very beginning. Take the eyes I'm going to use and put them right on the glue. And like I've mentioned in other videos, I like to flip it over and press from the back. I truly feel that that makes the glue stick better and makes it feel flatter. Excellent. Oh man, I love his big eyes. Okay, so the next thing I need is I need my piece of scrap paper back, and I need to make two little feet for my little guy here. So again, this paper is way too large. I need a smaller portion. I need to fold it in half because my little guy is going to need 2 feet. I need to draw 1 foot and double cut. And if I did it right, I should be able to separate it and have 2 feet. Perfect. I like to flip one of these over when I make them this shape, so the 2 big portions are in the middle and the 2 small portions are on the outside, like a big toe and some little toes. Excellent. So now I can leave them white or I can color them, whatever I want to do. I think I'm going to color mine orange. Okay, so now to glue those on, we haven't talked about his little tail. His little tail is the part at the bottom here. So I'm going to leave that kind of folded backwards, and I'm going to put a little glue right at the flat edge of my feet. So right here, I put a little bit of glue right there. Both feet need a little bit of glue. Then I'm going to turn my feet this way, put them right here at the base of the tail so they're sticking out in the front just like that. Fantastic. So now if I push the tail down from the back, I should be able to allow my little bird to stand up. And he can stand up on my desk in front of me as I do my work. He can hang out with me wherever I want him to be. So here's a little bonus for today. Wouldn't it be cool to make a bunch of these little birds that are all different sizes? So right now, these 2 birds are the same size. I used a full sheet of paper to make them. But wouldn't it be cool if we had some baby birds? Thanks for joining me at the Heart of a Viking, and I'll see you back here tomorrow to create our next work of art.